Hey everybody, this is Nikhil and Femi and myself, Andrea.
Yeah.
And you are listening to International SHUdent Experience podcast. So guys, I want to ask you, what was the toughest transition and moving to America?
Femi, you want to start?
Yeah, so it's interesting. My second time in a country, but
Okay.
this is my first extended stay and for studies. It's been interesting. Lots of cultural shocks. Things done differently back in my home country in Africa, in Nigeria, and done differently here. I mean, one of the sharpest form of shocks for me really is one of the biggest shocks for me is the culture of deference. My culture has a lot of deference for elders, and so when I came in here and I met Professor Joe Ali Castro, who was my supervisor, and he told me, Femi called me Joe, and I looked at him and I was like, my ancestors will wake up and flog me if I call you Joe. He's going to be 70 next year. That's my father's age. But you get to defer to elders. You give lots of respect to elders. So I find that quite shocking getting here as an international student, and I see the kind of relationship between students. Some students, even at undergraduate level, call their professors on a first name basis. It's just casual, and that's shocking to me, but I'm adjusting. I see myself unconsciously saying sir, and it tells me, Femi, don't use that again, call me Joe, and I feel embarrassed.
I think for you, in a way, it shows their title.
Yeah.
When you don't do that, sir, professor, it takes that away a little bit.
I just feel uncomfortable, calling. So I think people say Keith. I say, he's a professor, for God's sake. But that's the culture here. And I see how interesting and makes for good connection. But it's one of the strongest one that came to me. The biggest shock for me getting here.
It's a very casual culture here. People just like to blend in. It's a form of I'm cool too. You don't have to look at me like this intimidating factor. But of course, coming from India as well, I feel exactly the same way as you feel, because ever since you grow up, you go to elementary school, primary school, secondary school, all throughout, even through like colleges, you guys call it high school, we call it college, and this is university for us, so there's that difference. It's always professors, sirs, ma'ams, and if you don't, then you
could be
everyone looks at you like, what?
You're disrespectful.
You're disrespectful, exactly. So it's always those little things that you have to keep in mind, about there's a line, everything, at least our culture is like, there's a line to everything, we have those lines drawn out, and then you come here where it's for us, at least I feel personally that line is far a little bit more broadened. You don't know exactly where the line is, so that becomes a bit of an issue. But as Femi was saying, culture shocks. For me, I've been here nearly 4 years now. This is my 4th year now.
Okay.
Started my whole academic journey with the United States in 2020. So coming here during the pandemic, I had my own fair share of challenges and ups and downs and all sorts of things.
What was your main challenge?
Yeah, my main challenge was I would say not being able to make tea properly. That's my biggest challenge.
Tea?
Yeah.
Oh,
Tea, yeah. Making, as we call it back home, chai,
I love chai tea.
Yeah. Not the one you get at Starbucks, but the authentic chai that you get in India. But, I bring all the ingredients here, I don't know what it is, it's been a long-standing debate of mine, like, why can't I make the perfect cup of chai? Like, why doesn't
it's a skill.
Yeah,
So what stops you from making it? You came with ingredients.
It's the taste. It tastes different. It doesn't taste like home.
Is it because of the weather?
I don't know. That's exactly the biggest challenge. Is I'm still trying to figure out what exactly makes it pop. Is it the milk that I'm using? Is it the water? I think because I've spent a lot of days thinking about this. Why isn't it coming out perfect? And I think it's the water, because the water makes the biggest difference in
good
everything.
Point. Yeah.
Because if you see, even what I've observed, like if I've eaten Indian food here and I've of course eaten Indian food back home, it kind of has a different taste, because I always and eventually it's the water. Like the water here is different, so it kind of plays
It's
into
ruining that chai tea.
yeah, it
Wow,
just
that'd be
ruins it,
interesting.
man.
Yes, so I mean, for me also. So I've been talking about tea. Takes me
Yeah.
into the food culture here also. Coming in, I can be picky when it comes to food. So I came with some Nigerian food
Yeah.
to help me settle in.
Yeah.
Okay.
And so,
What's a food in Nigeria that we would not have here?
have you heard about pounded yam before?
No.
Pounded yam. Have you
Pounded yam.
pounded yam?
Pounded yam.
There's what is called amala in my local culture, but there is the Nigerian staple, which is essentially like a West African staple. It's called jollof rice. And so, have you heard about jollof rice?
Yeah, I've
before?
eaten it.
You'll be a taste jollof rice. You want to follow me to Nigeria? You want to come back to America?
It's
In
good,
fact,
yeah.
there's a rivalry in
Yeah,
the West
yeah.
African sub-region as to who cooks the best
Jollof.
jollof rice. Nigerians against Ghanaians against Senegalese, saying who cooks it. So when coming here and you notice the cooking, I mean the food. It's a bit different. My people eat lots of pepper.
Pepper.
Hot
Pepper.
chili, hot pepper, but that's not present in most American food. So that's also a culture.
Spicy, yeah.
I mean it's not spicy,
Yeah.
and then the weather. I come from a warm climate, and then it's I feel like I'm being punished, especially when it's now windy. My goodness, and my colleagues, my classmates tell me, "Oh, Femi, this is just it's nothing.
Yeah.
You should prepare for the wars," and I'm scared again. Oh my goodness, what are you guys
You need to get
saying?
mittens.
Yeah.
It's only downhill from
Yeah,
here.
but it's very interesting. Different things. My first contact here when I came in, my first transactional contact, I wanted to buy a SIM card for my phone,
Yeah.
and the
Okay.
first person I spoke with at a shop spoke no English at all. In America,
What language?
she spoke Spanish. She was from
Spanish,
Venezuela, so
okay.
she called on the phone
So
and gave
she
the
needed a
phone
translator
to us
to
speak.
translate to you.
I was shocked, and I told my guide, "What's happening? This is America. Are you guys not speaking English here?" So, "Oh my God, you've not seen anything."
Was
so
that comforting in a sense to you?
It was it embarrassing or was it confusing for me?
Yeah.
Because when I get to the bus station and I hear like,
Yeah.
the biblical story of the Tower of Babel. Because you hear like 100 languages, so but you hear this one speaking Spanish, another one speaking Portuguese, another one speaking French in the same country. I get to the bus station one day. I was in the bus actually
Yeah.
going from home to the to Bridgeport to come to school, and I heard someone speaking my local language in the bus. I was shocked.
Yeah.
And I looked around and I said, "Wow!" So I mean, it's so interesting. The US is such a diverse
You didn't
country.
expect that.
I didn't
Yeah.
expect that.
Yeah.
Different people from
Yeah.
different culture. It's like a melting point
Yeah.
of culture of people here.
And as you
Beautiful.
said, when I was back in my old university, it was the same thing because you had so many exchange students coming there. Like there were already students from India, and then there were students like I've had the privilege to know people from Spain. Like
Beautiful.
I knew this girl from Morocco. Then I knew this other few girls from Turkey. And of course there were French students, German students as well. So it's like I can go on naming countries. Just these are some that are coming to the top of my head. Like even I met a girl who was from Bolivia, I think. Yeah, she was Bolivian. So so many different kinds of people that
You can come across.
Yeah, like staying back home, I would never had the at least the access to, so to say.
Yeah.
It's just always you see it through on YouTube and all those things. It's just the media what they show you. But actually talking to these people and getting to know them as individuals.
It's a gift, I bet.
Yeah, it was good. But what I realized after all these interactions was the beautiful thing about it is that we're all the same. We all bleed red, and the human condition is the same. So what I go through is what they go through. So that was one of the most striking things that I realized, that at the end of the day, no matter where you are, who you are, we're all going through the same battles, and we're all going through
100%.
the same struggles. So that was the most beautiful realization that I had, that it doesn't matter which country you're from. We're all eating from the same plate if we just look at it from that perspective, and not bring our nationalities and backgrounds as a way of defining us. So that was the most beautiful thing. But I don't know about how you guys have had experiences in dealing with internationals as well. 'Cause,
Yeah,
like
I would say for myself, I mean, I think some of my closest friendships are my friends that I've met for like a year
Yeah.
who are international students,
Yeah.
than friends who I've known all undergrad. I mean, like, I could just, you guys, for example, we had conversations that are deeper than I've had with, I think, family members. And I think that's so beautiful. I learned so much from you guys. There's a different view I get when talking with you guys. And yeah. I want to ask you guys a question.
Yeah, please do.
Yeah.
What's one thing in coming to America that you could not bring here? You can bring your chai tea, you can bring, even outside of family. What's one thing that it's something that you had to leave home?
My hand spray, the one that's next to my toilet. I couldn't get that here, and it pains me every day that I have to use that silly mug, whenever I use the bathroom. But that's one of the things that really bothers me, that I had to leave my hand spray back
Your
home.
hands.
No,
Because-
You had to do a
Your
makeshift
hand
because
spray.
you brought your
gotta
mug
chill.
with you.
Yeah, and that was one of the first things I purchased when I had to come here. I said, okay, everything else is fine. I have clothes. That's the main thing. The rest will all just flow into place. But my hand spray is the most important thing that I really miss, because believe it or not, it's the things that we overlook, but it's a
It's
beautiful,
very true.
Yeah.
It's part of your routine.
yeah, it's a beautiful irony to the whole thing, because how I look at it is, you don't realize that once you come to a country that is different to yours, it's those little
It
things that
highlights
matter.
it. Yeah,
it's
you're
those
like, wait
little
a second,
things.
this is so out of my routine.
You
This
know,
is away from home.
And there is a different sense of grounding that comes with it. It's a different sense of humility. Like, it reminded me to be appreciative of all the things.
How
I've
lucky to
had,
have it
you
every
know?
day.
Well, so I mean, so
routine.
Nikhil, when you talk about the hand spray, so you got American, you discover
Explain it a little bit.
Yeah.
Americans spend a lot on toilet
Yeah.
paper on the paper towel.
Yeah, paper towels, toilet paper.
Toilet
yeah.
paper.
Yeah. It's
Yeah,
Yeah, same thing, yeah.
So I mean, it's the same for me. Back home, and I'm sure it's pretty much the same for you. It's considered unhygienic to clean your
That
backside.
is so crazy to
with
think
paper towel.
that using toilet paper is
Yeah.
not hygienic.
I mean, it's we consider it. I mean, that it's not hygienic to use paper towel to clean your backside. I mean, like I said, we said the hand sprays. It's funny, but that's the truth. Even for areas that are no hand sprays in the toilet, it's expected that there's a small bowl, to scoop water to clean your backside.
Yeah.
It makes it cleaner.
I just if I don't do it the way I'm used to doing it, I just feel dirty throughout
You
the day
feel
till I
unclean.
don't have a shower, and I'm a very hygienic
I
person,
cannot relate.
you know?
I cannot relate.
And I really take real good care of myself, so that's one thing I don't do. I feel like I've not had a bath in days. I feel like very like I've been to the desert and I've been lost for 5 days, without all the necessary essentials. But it's again, it's those small things, and it's those things that you eventually learn to appreciate. But it's not a bad thing. It's just how culture is and the things are here. It's not necessarily that I choose to adapt to that. I have ways to maneuver through that.
Yeah.
But it's again, it was as a topic is culture shock. It is one of the things that really surprised me. But you always find ways to work around that, and you work through that, and that's life. That's life. That's a ode to life. You make do.
Yeah. How about you, Femi?
But I mean, not much, but the kind of lifestyle you live back home. I walk away from home. I joke with my friends, and my wife jokingly call me a weekend husband. Because
A wicked husband.
a weekend
Weekend.
because I
Yeah.
come home mostly during the weekend over the weekend because I work in a different city,
Okay.
and because of the nature of my job I come around. But I have friends who are in my who was because of the nature of their jobs, like you're working in Los Angeles and then you come down to Fairfield every week or every other week, and so by that weekend we'll come together, in one of our houses, and we have fun. We relive our experiences with our wives and our kids, and it's such a bubbling and lovely environment. I sort of miss that, and it's one of the things that I've noticed in difference between my own culture, my country, and here. Africa, Nigeria, we live in a communal way.
Yeah.
There's one checking on the other,
Watching
over the other.
community.
More of a community-based, kind of living.
Yeah.
I've noticed here America is more individualistic.
Of course.
I consider myself a bit lucky, though there are downsides to it, that I came with my family, I have my wife and 2 kids here.
Yeah.
And so on the journey, as an international student, there are points that you get frustrated, there are challenges, unexpected, challenges pop up, and then
I was going to ask you that.
Yeah, you have someone.
How has your family or any relationship in your life has changed since moving to America? I know you came with your family, which is so beautiful, and you came with just your darling self. So
You came with your wife and kids too.
I don't want that right now. Right now I'm single as a Pringle and I'm fine.
Oh, by you single and searching?
Yeah. No, not searching. I have someone in my life, but it's just she's doing her own thing. I'm doing my own thing. So we're still apart. We're not together in that sense. She's not like I'm carrying her everywhere with me. She's doing her.
I hope not.
She's doing her own thing. I'm doing my own thing.
That's beautiful.
And as Femi was talking about individualism and how America thrives on that, and it's one of the things that I really learned, that I came here with the whole idea and with the curiosity of what is the American dream. You have that idea of what is the American dream, but 4 years down the line, I think I have the answer to that, because the American dream, to me, it does not exist. And when I say that, it's not a controversial statement or anything like that, because of what I feel it is. It's your dream. That's the beautiful thing about it.
Oh, it's so
the American dream
is down to the individual.
It's down to the individual. And as you said about individualism, I think that is the most important thing that I learned about myself. That along this whole journey, I may have gained whatever kind of experience that I could and got the degrees and whatever. But all that doesn't matter, to me. I found myself through this process.
Yeah.
I found what I'm good at. I found people that I could still to this day call good friends. I found somebody that I really like and I would like to really be with.
Oh, you found a person here?
Yeah.
Oh my, that's interesting.
And all those things, along the way. And I found myself. I found my own voice. I found my own independence. I found my own individuality, so to say, and it was... I had that, but this just coming here, it made me realize that.
I love that.
So it's one of the things, but I don't know about you guys,
Well, I did not travel far, just a 15-minute drive away.
No, but you're from your family is from Puerto Rico, right? If I'm not mistaken.
Yes.
I hope I pronounced it right.
Yeah.
So how does that impact you? How does hopefully they're not totally Americanized by now, but I assume they still have little parts of their culture and they have put it on to you as well,
Yeah, definitely.
I would really like to know that.
So me and my sister are first generation here and go to college. So it's a big thing. Most of my family is away, but there's a gift that comes with, I know you said, I think this exists in India too, that community-based, family-based culture that is a little rare here. And I think that's why I love to have that, interaction with you guys, because you have that a little bit in your culture. So I'm aware of that.
Yeah.
I'm aware of that now and connecting. Yeah.
Well, so it is interesting, and for me with a family, I came with a family for me to have a total focus on my studies, not to be distracted. With having my kids back home in Nigeria, and then I'm worried about what's happening.
So it's beautiful that you were able to come here all together.
It comes with some economic burden as well, because you need to cater to their needs. But I've also, in the midst of it all, it's been good for me to make new families, new friends, fantastic individuals, fantastic imams that I've met here, you guys, some of our other colleagues in class that have been so much helpful.
I love that you found
settle.
that. Because it's a risk. You don't think of it, but it's a sacrifice. It's a risk. You don't know. You don't know what you're going to approach, the people you're going to come across.
And it's also when you come to a new country, there's always that certain amount of fear that you come with. It's the insecurities that most internationals face. Femi, the others, everyone. It's like the fear of, okay, am I good enough? Am I the ability to
how are you going to fit in?
How I'm going to fit in, of course, and it's not that will they like me, but will they accept me?
Yeah.
More thing, that's the biggest questions, that you keep asking yourself, because with most American people I've observed, they have their own little bubbles, like even with college I figured it out. It's like some students are together in high school, and then they transfer. Oh, you're going to Sacred Heart, I'm going to Sacred Heart. Let's all go together. And then when college happens, it's like, oh, it's a whole big new world.
Yeah.
So then that's when the friendships dissipate. And college is a beautiful thing. It's like you find your individual voice and all that. But it's the one thing that I've observed. It's like then you see me, I'm like a brown unicorn hopping around, it's like, where do I fit into this whole bubbles of American students? You feel that, you feel the
100%.
this, and it brings its own loneliness in a way, it brings its own isolation. But as I always say, if you have God by your side and you have a little faith, the right people finds you. It just requires a little bit of patience, a little bit of patience, and things work out. I think the most greatest thing that I would recommend to people do is to not overthink this whole thing. It's like
100%.
It's like just come. People come with so many expectations, like, oh, I want to come to America, like I want to be this big shot, but like, nah, it doesn't matter. Nobody cares, just
take its own course.
Find yourself, be happy, choose happiness, find people that you like, and just enjoy.
Live your life.
Live your life.
One at a time.
If you constantly think about, oh, I don't have the good phone, or I don't have the Mercedes Benz, or I'm not making enough money, you'll constantly be chasing those things. But that's not the American dream, in my personal opinion.
Yeah.
It's not. It's never going to be that. As much as it's advertised, but it's never going to be that.
You're not chasing. You're not looking for iPhone 15. You use iPhone.
I thought my whole expectation of America would be like a Bruce Springsteen song, I love Bruce Springsteen, so it was like it was gonna be like all the Bruce Springsteen songs, when it kind of was like that, it's like some of the music also what I was exposed to kind of really showed me and gave me a lot of insight into what this country is, and I realized it, and it did not disappoint. It still does not disappoint me.
Good.
So I'm very happy to be here. Very happy to be alive.
I'm glad to hear it's going well so far for you.
So far. So far. Hopefully, so far.
Take my lucky penny. So you guys are 4 months in now, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sure.
So how are you adjusting, and what do you plan for the future?
I don't know. That's the biggest question that I've been asking myself. I don't know what the future is, but I know that I have a path in my mind. I know where I'm headed. Goal is to just be enough at the end of this, to ask myself that question, because coming from India, all your life you've been told, oh, you gotta do your master, you gotta be the big person, and I've reached that point now. I'm like, oh, I made it. I made the end of the line, at least, for my educational career.
Well, your year here is going to fly by.
Yeah, it's already flying past. We're already in November, and it's going to be December soon, It's like,
And I'm sorry, you're going to get a call from India by the time you finish. Nikhil, what's next is for you to go on your PhD. So get set for
no. If that's it, then I'm going to hang myself. I'm like, I'm done.
Oh, don't say that.
I'm done with studying, It's like...
No, you'll be good. You make a good professor, really.
And a lot of people tell me that I can really get into teaching and stuff like that.
You never know.
Yeah.
You never know.
I still don't know, I'm still figuring myself out.
So imagine, I'm Andrea, so it's introduced and Professor Nikhil Miranda, and so, with your research and everything, you make a good professor, so prepare for you going into a PhD.
Not my research, it doesn't matter about the research. It's more about how charming you are. I think I have that. I think I have that X factor. I think I'm very charming, and I think people will like me.
The charming prince.
Yeah. Even if I was in a class and I was teaching people, I think
it's the charm that'll get you through it.
Yeah. Interesting.
How about you, Femi?
Oh well, so I guess I'll take let's take it one step at a time, because coming here I had lots of expectations, I had a lot of plans, and some things back home happened and then disrupted lots of plans, and almost made nonsense all of the efforts, several months of planning and everything. So at this stage, I guess one just live one day at a time, and I take a rush. But like Nikhil said, I believe I've made it fun. I've lots of experience. Back home.
100%.
To get to see the industry in a different world. And get to mix with some of some of the best practitioners in the industry in the world. Interestingly, one of the things that attracted me to the master's program here, it was checking the faculty page and seeing the practical industry-based experience of the faculty. You see all them they've had practical experiences. In some of the schools, it's mainly theory. People have written papers, but here people who spend years, decades in the industry, practicing, doing this. Is in photography, is in podcasts, is in engineering. You've seen them, so it's a bright spot for me. I believe I will just take it one step at a time. I'm being cooked. I'll be ready very soon.
I've never heard that before.
I think we're reaching boiling point a little bit.
Boiling point.
We're boiling now, but by the end of this, we'll be ready.
We'll be ready.
To serve,
we'll be and we'll serve the word big. But
you'll be ready to be served.
We'll be ready to, and we will serve ourselves.
We'll
serve
ourselves. Gotta serve ourselves, and then the world can come to us.
It just gets ready for us. Really, we come. But it's been fun in America. It's not without its challenges. I say it again. The weather is killing me. Perhaps if there's anything that can turn down.
I'm gonna get you mittens for Christmas.
Oh please! If there's anything anyone can do to turn down this weather, I understand snow is coming. I'm dreading it. Guys have told me about these. I'm getting better with the food. I have no option. You need to feed your belly. But the weather, what can we do about that?
Can't do anything. But have you tried a cheeseburger though? Yeah. Have you tried a cheeseburger?
Cheeseburger?
Yeah.
I don't know. I've tasted some things that I don't know the name.
No, but if you get the chance, please try an American cheeseburger. With French fries, like traditional fries, and I don't know.
There was a particular food that Thomas introduced me to sometimes back. Fantastic. It looked like a local delicacy. We call it akara in my native language. I can't remember the name again. Lovely. So I'm just taking it one at a time. But I've tried some that my face turned. I was like, what's this? But you try some others and then you love it. So I mean, some of the differences. You come into a new area. We say in my area that when you're in Rome, you behave like Romans.
Exactly.
So you have no option but to adapt. To enjoy, take in life, soak it in, and then just have fun. That's the best way to live it, or else you'll be depressed because of the individualistic nature of the people here. If you do not just take it one at a time and just soak in and focus on the positives, you'll be depressed because back home you get people checking on you and say, how are you faring, how are you doing? I also noticed that wonderful people here will do that for you. But then the best thing for you is just to take one at a time and then have fun while we're here. And I'm sure we're having fun already.
How about this?
We're having great fun.
We'll take one day at a time and we'll get a cheeseburger together.
We'll get a cheeseburger, definitely. But where at though? Where do you get a real good cheeseburger in Connecticut? I know a few places where I was.
We do it with a chai, with a tea.
With the tea? But tea, we gotta have tea after that. Because it's not like like Coca-Cola that you have it with the food. It's like a refreshment.
I see.
So you have it like either once you wake up or you have it like. We have it like twice in a day. Like at least I do. You have it in the morning and then you have it in the afternoon after your afternoon nap. So. Some people do it thrice a day, but it depends on the person, how much they want to have. It's like coffee,
I look forward to that.
Yeah, sure.
Guys, it was great chatting with you.
Thank you.
So that is it for our show today for International SHUdent Experience. And thank you for listening in.
Yeah.
Thank you for having us. Thank you for having us.
Thank you, Andrea.
That was good.
I hope I didn't go extra. Yeah, it's just like the whole